Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health, where every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health, heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Well, we have had a big build-up for what we have traditionally called the cold and flu season. We have told you pretty much on how not to catch a cold or flu, and certainly vaccines aren't one of those ways. We say Epicor probably is your best bet. We've talked about it quite a bit up till now. We're going to be talking about it again in the month of January because our guest from the company is going to be back with us. But if you should be befallen with the symptoms of colds or flu, a product line we've come to know and trust to help alleviate those symptoms, and I mean like right now, is a company called OLBAS. So as I usually do each and every year, I contacted OLBAS and I said, you know what? We have a special guest to bring to you. We want her to come on the radio show and talk about OLBAS because, well, she knows about everything, but she knows an awful lot about OLBAS. That led to me meeting a young lady, name of Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, who's going to be our guest today, talking about, well, the book she's written, the most recent one called The Joy Factor, as well as the OLBAS line, which she evidently knows more about than anybody else because, well, the company said it so. We're going to be with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones here right at about quarter after the hour and taking the rest of the hour to discuss, well, she says she has some additional ways to help you cure yourself of never getting that cold. But if you should, she's also going to tell you about how to deal with those symptoms. We're talking about OLBAS. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, our guest today, just about quarter after the hour. Within the course of our discussion today with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones. That's a mouthful there, Susan Smith-Jones. Dr. Susan, I think we'll call her. Then, by all means, give us a call at our phone number here at the station. It's 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. And I promise to let you on in as soon as I hear you knocking on the door. Okay, in terms of the week and how it shakes up, and this is an action-packed week around here, is it not? I did enjoy it, by the way, on Friday, always thinking about the previous show, having Jim Navarro and Beth Clay with us together, talking about the bill, mostly about the bill, the Thomas Navarro Patient Rights Act, which looks as though they'll wait and introduce it at the new Congress in January, and they got some pretty good feelings about it. I hope you saw or listened to and heard the good vibes I was getting about the belief that they'll be able to get that passed and give parents the right to make decisions, all the decisions with respect to their children and the kind of treatments they'll receive for any disease, not just the common cold, but even the terminal diseases too. So we'll get back to them. We promise to get back with them sometime in January or February as that next Congress convenes to find out what the status of the bill is. Under the help of Beth Clay, now a lobbyist, I got a feeling that it will be maneuvered through the minutia of our legislatures in as quick as a way as possible. And with Jim Navarro behind, or the two of them together, I think they'll pull it off. So my hat's off to both of them and thank them for being with us on Friday. Now this week, as I just mentioned, we're going to have Dr. Susan Smith-Jones with us today. The rest of the week is action-packed too. On Wednesday, we're going to have back with us Dr. Peter DeWitt. He's the South African physician who practices in Texas and utilizes a mind-body-spirit approach to disease that I really have not found with my medical colleagues prior. His book, which he was kind enough to send me a copy, entitled Heal Thyself, Transform Your Life, Transform Your Health. And when he was on our show, just last month, and he was with us on the 24th of November. I believe and I talked to many of my patients who heard that show. They knew that this was a different kind of guest who had a different message and a powerful one. I think we all agree that Dr. Peter DeWitt's message is that powerful. He's going to be expounding upon where he last left us. I keep leaving you with a quote that he mentioned from the work of Dr. Claude Sabat, who I believe he knows personally, one of his mentors, I believe he called him, which is this. And with this one, if there's not enough to think about after you hear it, then you're not a thoughtful person. Disease, ask him about disease. He defined it in the words of Dr. Claude Sabat as disease is the brain's best solution to keep the person alive as long as possible. Therefore, disease is a survival program. Mull over that a little bit, if you would, and look forward to bringing Dr. Peter DeWitt back to talk about many of the points raised in his book on our Wednesday show. On Thursday, now we won't be able to have him on the show, and that's different because we normally always try. Just so happened that by the time I got their data, I'd already filled in the slots for the week. But they're going to be up at the Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group this coming Thursday in December. You can always expect that the third Thursday never works out, and so this is the second Thursday of the month. Freedom of Choice in Cancer Therapy group. 2 speakers, a twofer. 2 for the price of 1. Hey, the price is free anyway, so it's awful inexpensive. Phyllis Pipkin and Marilyn Becker. Marilyn is going to be talking about the benefits of boosting your immune system, and Phyllis, learn about the 5 elements of healing will be her topic. It should be an action-packed evening there. So same time, same place, different day of the month. 7 o'clock, Days Inn, Route 8 Butler, second Thursday instead of third, December 9th. And hopefully those who go up there, maybe someone will give us a call on Friday. On Friday, when we're with our guest, by the way, looking forward to being with Deborah. We finally got a hold of the elusive one, Deborah Ray. She's going to be with us on Friday morning and talking about, well, whatever she happens to be doing at the time, because as you well know, Deborah never lets grass grow under her feet. She always has a project or 2 or 3 and is able to manage them all quite well. When it comes to alternatives, we, for years, allowed Deborah to guide us with the help of her then husband, Don Carreau. Now, got a new hubby. We found that out talking to Deanna Naylor, who is the president of Fruit of Spirit. Deborah and Deanna have become very close. And in an interview we were doing with Deanna a couple of months ago, she just happened to say, well, look, first Deborah is up in Vancouver with her husband, and I, as well as all my listeners, literally, well, I fell off of my chair. I don't know what you did. Because I was surprised to hear, happy in a way, surprised to hear that Deborah is remarried. When I talked to her about it on the phone, I said, Deborah, you can't come on the show unless you're willing to discuss your new husband. So she promised to do so. You don't want to miss Friday. And we talked to Deborah about him as well as whatever she's doing. It easily will occupy the hour. I'm looking forward to it as we only get the chance to do this maybe twice a year. It looks like that's the way it's been working out in the last couple of years, where Deborah's schedule is so busy, and we work out a date where she can come aboard with us. So I hope you'll be there with us on Friday. Then on Monday, next week from today, we bring Brian Foltz back. He is a representative from Standard Process. You heard from him the first day of the month, just as a Standard Process line of products was unveiled. Literally, they have so many products, but they make them all from their own homegrown. The farm out in Wisconsin, someplace, and I didn't know it. You know, we don't have any minerals in our soil, especially iodine. That's why our thyroid disease is so out of control. But evidently, in Wisconsin, that's the most fertile soil and most nutritive soil, with all minerals present in a quantity not found anyplace else, at least according to Brian Foltz, that is. Then we went through all the standard multivitamins and pretty much let it go at that. When he returns on the 13th, he's going to be talking about a nutritional exam that can be performed to determine what it is that you need. And and we're going to evidently use me as an example because he already did that nutritional exam on me and came up with a whole list of things that I should be taking. And we'll talk about myself in connection with standard process on that particular Monday show. And that pretty much rounds out the discussion as it stands today with respect to guests. You know, I am taking a peek into January, and I know we got a number of weeks ago, but just to let you know, the Epicor man, Mr. Stuart Reeves, I think it was a PhD. Stuart Reeves is going to be back with us talking more about Epicor from the perspective of the immune system. We got confirmation from Stuart that the birth of Epicor and how it came about with respect to, you know, people who worked in the animal feed Diamond V division of what Epicor wasn't even invented then, but the fact that when they had insurance analysts come in, they didn't get sick, and this led to discoveries about what's in that feed, and they learned that there's a set of substances in it that is very protective and immune balancing. The term immune balancing, I want you to get used to hearing the word balance instead of boost. And with this issue of balancing, in the month of January, I don't have a date yet. I have a commitment from Edward Kane. We're going to have to have a discussion about fish oils, the other side of the balance. You know, immune boosting is something that Stuart Reeves said, oh my goodness, you don't want to keep that thing fired up, that system stoked so much all the time. You need to balance it so as to allow the system to calm down. Well, on the other side of that equation, I believe, if we have to finally talk about it, the issue of fish oils, and in particular with how they gain such prominence as an anti-inflammatory, the other side of the scale. And I believe what can be said about immune boosting and having a system completely out of control in an upward direction is equally as negative in terms of its effect as would be the case, I think, in the fish oils of having an immune system completely shut down on the other side. What a clash that must be. Anyway, we're going to be talking with Edward Kane, husband of Patricia Kane. We've had her on our show before. But I don't believe anybody in the world that knows more about essential fatty acids, membranes, and the damage that can occur to them than Edward Kane, who's going to be one of our guests coming up in January. Then Roland Thomas is going to be with us way at the 17th of January. I know we're way ahead of ourselves, but just to let you know, I think the topic is a very fascinating one, bioengineered algae, soon to be the most powerful food and medicine known to man. Certainly a titillating topic, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's do this. It's time to take a short break. And in the interim, we should already have our good friend, Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, already dialed us up. She wanted to come in through the control room, and so I hope to be grabbing her in our little break. And when we're back with her, we'll talk to Dr. Susan Smith-Jones about how to treat that cold. Wait, how to not to get one, but if you get one, how to treat it besides. Be back in a moment with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones.
You become confused about how best to manage your health. It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has got another suggestion for you to follow. It seems to be reasonable.
Susan. Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you on this Monday version of the show. Blustery outside, is it not? But for sure, I got a feeling that we're going to be able to warm things up in here, if you know what I mean. Called the company OLBAS Company a couple of weeks back. All as I do each and every year, trying to get OLBAS to come on the line with us, come on the air, to talk about their product line. I'm very much in favor of them. I think they do a wonderful job if you should happen to be afflicted by colds and flus. And so, talking to the gentleman that I usually speak to, he goes, you know what, I'd rather not do that anymore with you. And I, for a moment, didn't know what he meant. And he said, you know, I got a much better guest for you than myself. She knows everything about our products and then some. And I got intrigued immediately and said, you got to contact this young lady named Susan Smith-Jones. And so I said, I'll be happy to do so. Ever since I made contact with her, I've been enthralled by this young lady. Her energy level is through the roof. Get a load of this bio, folks. Selected as one of the 10 healthy American fitness leaders by the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. Dr. Susan, as she's called, is an award-winning writer and advice columnist. She has authored over 1,500 magazine articles, numerous audio programs, and 26 books, including Walking on Air, Your 30-Day Inside and Out Rejuvenation Makeover, Recipes for Health Bliss, and her new one, The Joy Factor. She appears regularly all over the place. We're lucky enough to have her with us today. Let's say good morning and welcome her aboard. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, are you there with us? Oh, I'm speaking up pretty loud. Are you you near the receiver? You know what? I'll be happy to take a break and see if we can reconnect. You really having difficulty? Tell you what, let's just do this. I'm going to take a short break because... Oh, you can? All right, Bill hit a switch. That's our guy in the control room, who, by the way, says, I know her. She's been on our show in our airways before. And I said, do you... Oh, by the way, I've had the benefit of looking. You sent me your picture. I said, she's drop-dead gorgeous, Bill. He's now looking for your picture somewhere. He is. He's out there looking for it. Dr. Susan, we're going to call you Dr. Susan just to shorten that up. You don't mind, do you? We're going to call you Dr. Susan. All right, we're going to call you Dr. Susan. I tell you, to talk to the OLBAS company, as I do it every year, and have not even flinch or bat an eyelash about recommending that you come aboard our show today because of your knowledge base with respect to, well, in everything I can read, you certainly are on the health side of things to maybe not ever get colds and flu. And so we probably should have a discussion about that. You've been on the faculty of some UCLA. You're on the student staff and faculty at UCLA on how to be healthy and fit. And in just talking to you and certainly seeing your picture, you are your best advertisement, Dr. Susan Smith-Jones.
Well, thank you. I did teach at UCLA for student staff and faculty for 30 years. And we're debuting my brand new book that came out this month called The Joy Factor on this show. And I think the oldest people said to call me because for almost 4 decades, I've used the oldest product. I've never taken medication in my life. I haven't had a cold or a flu and 2 months shy of a quarter of a century. And I love the oldest product. I use all of them.
Well, let's say this. Because when we spoke on the phone, and I was saying, you know, it's our cold and flu season, and everybody gets it, and we're looking for ways to try to fend off those symptoms, you took to the control right away and said, you know what? I got some pretty unique ways I'd like to add to your list. I had a list of 7 things going on and said, you know what? I'd like to add to that list. And so could we maybe talk about some of your surefire ways? In fact, you do have, let's see, one of 10 healthy American fitness leaders wrote, oh, let colds and flus pass you by this winter. You should have a list of about 10 things that you do in order so as to have them pass you by. I'd love to hear what you do to avoid the cold. Okay. I did put that in the number 1 slot. The first time I ever saw it in that prominent of a position. You think it's that important? It should be number 1, huh?
Mm-hmm. I have them meeting at the beginning of a trailhead to hike, or at the bluff overlooking the Santa Monica Ocean, and we walk. And as we walk and talk, they're always amazed at how much better they feel at the end. They think it's because of everything I'm saying to them, women too. It's because their hormones are being decreases and they feel better. They have a more positive attitude, which is the third surefire key to keep your immune system up.
Which is it? All right. Yes, it is. Very interesting. Well, it's a good start. What about things that somebody might take? There's always a list of those. What do you suggest? Okay, that's very good. Astragalus is a preventative. Echinacea if you're in the throes of it, huh? Yeah.
Just cut them off with the skin on it. Put it in the water. Let it simmer for 10 minutes. So I have a big glass in the morning, and then I drink the rest of the water throughout the day. It's a very inexpensive way to make your own tea. And I also recommend, I learned this as a teenager from my grandmother. I know this is an aside, but cinnamon stick. Cinnamon was once considered more valuable than gold in some ancient cultures. Cinnamon now has been found to improve your body's ability to obey insulin and take up glucose. Scientific studies show that it cuts triglycerides and the bad cholesterol, the low density. It's anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, great for blood sugar. So, sprinkle cinnamon on whatever you can, in your smoothies, on your sweet potatoes, your yams, on your oatmeal in the morning. And a cinnamon stick is a great way to flavor your water or your tea or your juice. One tightly curled stick, Dennis, will last about 2 days. And once it opens up, throw it away, put it in the soil, or whatever you want to do, and put another stick in that you can transfer from glass to glass and bottle to bottle. If you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, get into adding cinnamon to your diet. Now, one more thing. Eucalyptus and peppermint oils, the penetrating vapors of these aromatic essential oils, work wonders for sinus and bronchial health. And for decades, and I have it right here. Can you hear it? I'm tapping the phone.
I hear ya.
My oxygen inhaler.
Ah.
Now, one inhaler, one to a person. You don't want to share these. But I keep one at my desk where I am now, on my bedside table, in my purse, in my gym bag. I always take it when I fly. And it's this little, it's about the size of your pinky finger.
Right.
Yeah. I'm breathing it in now in each nostril, and if you have a clogged nostril or you're not breathing well or sinus problems or a cold or a flu, it just opens up your nasal passages. Everyone that comes to me for allergies, first of all, they work with me for 1 to 2 months and they won't have allergies anymore, but I always make sure they have the OLBAS inhaler or the OLBAS oil. And I'll tell you about the oil in a moment. Let me mention one more thing. Licorice root. Licorice root is exceptional support if you have a scratchy throat. And it's one of herbalists, I'm an herbalist as well, favorite soothing bronchial and respiratory system health ingredients. And OLBAS instant tea. I don't know.
Oh, that tea.
Love it? All right.
That is the greatest stuff, yes.
And thyme and eucalyptus and peppermint oils and other when I travel. It is my ritual every day. I have 1 cup, at least 1 cup of the OLBAS herbal remedy, the instant tea. 1 container of these little granules will make about 65 cups of tea. Now, what I often do, I know I've never said this on the air, but I'll often take the lid off of this beautiful container that's on my kitchen counter and just smell it, because the smell, the beautiful fragrance of the peppermint and the eucalyptus oils, and that opens your nasal passages. And then if you make a hot cup on a cold evening or a cold day, it just opens up your nasal passages, and there's thyme in it, and the licorice helps your throat and your bronchial system. You know, if you go to OLBASmovies.com, now it's not a 2 or 3 hour movie. It's not any longer than 3 minutes. OLBAS, OLBAS, movies.com. And then you can learn all about these wonderful 8 OLBAS products. And when you get a chance, I'd love to talk about the oil.
I tell you what we're going to do. Why don't we do this? Take a short break. When we come back, the first thing I want you to do is, I'm sure my listeners are interested in how to get a hold of your book. I want you to talk about the Joy Factor and any of the other books too, because I think that that people can tell by listening to you that you walk the walk and talk the talk, and you've got a health history that could be documented, and you have done it. And everyone deserves to hear about how to get a hold of it so they can read about it too.
And everyone get out a pen and paper, because there's a way you can get a free book of all my favorite natural remedies today too.
Get that pen and paper.
Don't forget it.
We have 3 hours. We have an hour. We have an hour. So let's take a break. When we come back, first thing we're going to get at is how they can get the book. And then, if I heard you right, well, I'll tell you about that perspective when we come back, because I think you're using OLBAS a little differently than I ever looked at it before. We'll get to that in just a moment. Folks, you can tell this is energy personified with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones. We'll be back in a moment and have her talk to you some more about OLBAS and how not to get a cold and how to get that book called The Joy Factor. Be back in just a moment.
Antioxidant-rich liquid nutrition with more health benefits than any other product of its kind. Take advantage of a special offer from Christmas. We will send a beautiful gift pack with a bottle of Fruit of the Spirit, portion glass, book, and brochure to each game on your shopping list for just $29. That's a bottle of Fruit of the Spirit, portion glass, book, and brochure to each game on your shopping list for just $29.
Fruit of the Spirit gift pack is a $57 value. This Christmas season is yours for just $29. Shipping and handling not included. Call 1-800-793-8714 with your shopping list, and Fruit of the Spirit will take care of the rest. Call now at 1-800-793-8714.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, and you become confused about how best to manage your health. It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow. It seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how beautifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. This confusion sounds familiar to you. Give us a call concerning your complementary health. We'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, ovulation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and other effective alternative therapy.
Dennis J. Courtney, MD, is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3.
Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today on this Monday version of the show, and as has been announced, I thought you would be captivated by our guest today. I know I am. The energy just spills off of her. I say she effervesces, and she's spewing out these bubbles all over the place. That inside of each one of those bubbles is a lot of knowledge that we're gaining from our discussion with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones today. Dr. Susan, you still there with us, my dear? Okay, Bill, we have to thank Bill for turning the right switch on. Look, we promised everybody, and they went and probably got a paper and pencil on how to get your work, how to get your books. So go right ahead now. Take whatever time you need to do it.
All right. Well, see, I've got this brand new book. This is the big debut. Wayne Dyer wrote the foreword, and it's called The Joy Factor, 10 Sacred Practices for Radiant Health. Now, if you go to SusanSmithJones.com, that's my main site. And by the way, Friday, it will be a brand new website after a year under construction. But it's my name, SusanSmithJones.com. Or you could go to SusansRemedies.com. And I wrote this book because it's a program I taught for 30 years at UCLA and gave in seminars and workshops around the world. So if anybody listening wants any help, you want your own personal lifestyle coach, want help in building self-esteem, simplifying your life, creating high-level success, shedding some pounds, creating vibrant health and prosperity, and living with more, I love this, joie de vivre, you definitely want the Joy Factor. It will take you from a spin cycle lifestyle of day in and day out, losing that joy of living, to what I call the wind cycle lifestyle. And it's part rule book, part playbook, and part workbook. And I extract and distill the most life-changing and easily applicable health and success-building strategies from my work with thousands of people around the world for the past 35 years. When I tell you how to live the best life possible and easy to understand pros and how to put them to use in your life. See, I work here in my area and around the world with lots of famous people, lots of TV and movie celebrities and corporate presidents and politicians and world-class athletes. And I help people on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. I give everyone my gold star secrets to taking your life from maybe the ordinary to the extraordinary. And I put it all in this one book. And what 10 Herbs is doing, and that 10 Herbs, as you know, is America's most unique source of medicinal herbs and natural remedies since 1924. And they carry, they're the distributors in America for OLBAS. And I've gone to them. I've shopped through 10 Herbs for 40 years. And my grandmother taught me about OLBAS. But they just bought, this book has just come out, but they bought many copies of the book, and anyone who purchases through them, today, this week, and next week, and it's only $16.95, you can get just for the, if you purchase the Joy Factor, and then just for the Asking Dennis, you can get a free copy of my other book called Herbs, Nature's Medicine Chest. And in the back of this beautiful book is a CD interview with me. And in this book, I talk about how I live, what I eat, the natural remedies I use, from, strengthening immune system, better digestion, soothing cold, flu, allergies, losing weight, having energy, boosting libido, helping your joints and bones stay strong, calming stress, getting a good night's sleep. I give you all my secrets, and you can get Nature's Medicine Chest free if you purchase the Joy Factor. So here's the toll-free number. And
there's the number. What is it?
It's 1-800-523-9971 between 8:30 and 5. It's 1-800-523-9971. And you can learn more about it if you go to SusansRemedies.com or SusanSmithJones.com.
All right, that number is Eastern Time, huh? Unique. Okay, Eastern Time. Well, they're open now, folks, in case, don't miss the rest of the show, but Write it down real quick. Once again, 1-800-523-9971. Order the Joy Factor, and you'll get the free herbal gift book on these herbal remedies and medicinal herbals if they do it within the next couple of weeks, right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. That's spreading the joy around.
Dennis, I think it was really nice of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get this number a couple more times before we end today, and we've got some time left to go. We've been talking about the OLBAS products, but uniquely, as I listen to you, you're so healthy, and you're taking these OLBAS products literally every day, and you take them as a preventative.
It's expensive, and you know what happens with me is whenever I fly all over the world, and when I fly places, you breathe in that nasty air, and sometimes I'll find myself with a little bit of a scratchy throat, or feeling more tired than usual, or I need something just to touch me up, you know? I got a good night's sleep last night. I'm feeling well this morning, and, it's 3 hours earlier here than there. But there's one, I'm never without any of the OLBAS products, but there are a few of them I use more than others, like the inhaler and the tea, and certainly the OLBAS oil. The OLBAS oil has been around for 100 years. It's amazing to me. It's sold in over 20 countries, and OLBAS is an acronym, and it stands for Oleum Bacillium.
I never knew that.
And the oil comes from, it was created in Basel, Switzerland. So that's a city in Switzerland that's nestled on the border of Germany and France. And it's world-renowned as a center for pharmaceutical research. So more than 100 years ago, herbalists in Basel developed a pure blend of essential oils that has, come to be known as the OLBAS oil. And these 6 medicinal herbs that have been selected all work beautifully on their own, but then added synergistically together are very therapeutic for the respiratory system. So OLBAS contains peppermint. Now that's been valued for centuries as an aromatic stimulant, and it provides benefits to the nasal and bronchial areas. It has eucalyptus. Now, as you probably know, that promotes oxygen absorption by relaxing the respiratory muscles and enhances the breathing passages. Now, might be a new name for people. Cajuput. C-A-J-U-P-U-T. Now, it's closely related to tea tree oil, and this powerful oil soothes bronchial and sinus passages and supports healthy breathing. It also has juniper that reduces inflammation, supports the immune system. It has wintergreen. Oh, I love that. And it has a warm, soothing feeling when OLBAS oil is applied to the skin. Because you can use the oil as a massage oil as well. I mean, if your feet are tired, you put a little bit of this oil, rub it on your feet. Your feet will feel brand new. It also has cloves, and that's a strong, stimulating aromatic spice that enhances the overall effect of OLBAS oil. So taken together, the effects of these essential oils are even more potent. And what you can do with the OLBAS is you can put a few drops in a handkerchief and and you can put that into your pocket, or to breathe it in if you need help with breathing, or you can put it in a diffuser next to your bed at night, or you can tuck a drop or two into a tissue and tuck it into your pillowcase to help stimulate and enhance breathing throughout the night. One study demonstrated that regular OLBAS inhalation for 7 days had a really positive effect on the nasal mucosa with patients with acute rhinitis. How do you say rhinitis?
Rhinitis.
Yes, that's what I thought. And the common cold. Now, and also the cough syrup. You hear all the studies now about the cough syrups aren't good for children. And the OLBAS cough syrup combines 5 herbal extracts known for their respiratory and immune system benefits like thyme, licorice, plantain, horse chestnut, and let me see, pine. And they also blend in some wildflower honey, and it soothes cough. You know, it's the cough syrup is the number one decongestant, and the oil over in England. You know, we're not allowed to say that here in America, but it's number one in England. So the oil is wonderful. And you know what else I do is when I take a shower, I have different bottles around my house of the oil, and I put 1 to 2 drops. I just drip it down onto my shower floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when the hot water hits that oil, you've got like a spa experience at home. And again, if you want to learn more about these, there's a 3-minute movie, OLBASmovies.com, that you can check out, and you can learn more about these products. And you can get them all. You could get a whole sampler kit with samples of all the products if you call that same 800 number, 523-9971.
Is that the number to Penn Herb?
That's it.
That is the number to Penn Herb. That's where to get the book. That's where to get the little compendium of the herbals. You're giving me more information. You know, I used to talk to the president of the company. You've given me more information than they ever have on OLBAS. I don't know how you got to learn about it, but nobody ever mentioned to me about what the ingredients of the oil was. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, the oil is not for human consumption. They have syrup for that, but as she has mentioned, you know, you can put it on a cloth, you can inhale it, but you can rub it on the skin, and that external use of that substance is just amazing with how many beneficial effects that there really are.
So if you have arthritis, or if I work out a lot. Like after the interview, I'll go hike. And if I've worked out hard and I have aches and pains or achy joints or my muscles hurt or insect bites or sinus headaches, I don't get, but other people do, or earaches, the OLBAS oil is great. You always want to take it when you travel. On planes, I would never be without my OLBAS inhaler, especially to keep my ears clear when you take off and you land. The OLBAS salve, you know, S-A-L-V-E, is great for sunburn pain. The OLBAS herbal bath is great after a long day of hiking. You put a little bit into the bath, and it's so good for achy joints and pains. Now, I don't know if you've ever been anywhere and you get a little tickle in your throat. Maybe you have a sore throat, or maybe you're sick. But sometimes you just get a tickle and your eyes begin to water and you know you're going to cough. And you could be in a movie theater or at a concert and you're embarrassed because you have to get up and leave because you cough. Well, I'm always with my OLBAS pastille.
There you go. There's the biggie.
Because, you know, they've got these new lozenges. They're sugar-free, black currant, the best tasting. In fact, they're always with me, even without a tickle, because they have vitamin C, and they have menthol and eucalyptus, and they keep your breath fresh. So that's not a bad thing. The pastilles they've been around for decades. They're the maximum.
They are maximum.
Now, most people can almost not tolerate the maximum strength, and it's a test to see if you can. Oh, I can't easily. They're absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, they are. As interesting it is that so much of what you have discussed today, really using OLBAS preventatively, in my experience, and I'm sure you've been to these conventions and these health shows, I can't tell you how many times a speaker, you know, they go up and down the aisles and they're looking at all the exhibitors, and they come talk to you, and they're in the throes of a upper respiratory something. They, at a minimum, have laryngitis. Maybe they've been talking a lot. Maybe they are just coming down with that cold. You give them the tea. I say the two rescue ones for me are the tea in combination with those pastilles, and the next day they are rescued. They come back and say, I got to buy some of this stuff because I am back. Thank you so much, they say.
Exactly. That's why the Tanner Company's booth is always the most popular, because they give away that tea, and everyone just goes, oh, what is this tea? Now, here's a little secret. You could put a few of those little instant pebbles of the tea. You could put them in juice or just in your water, just a few of them to flavor your water. And I put them in smoothies just to give my smoothie a good taste.
You have come up with more uses for these products than I've ever heard before, without presence of disease. This truly must work, folks. She does it for the preventative component. Doesn't wait so long as to have to take it for treatment. The woman has already told you she doesn't get colds.
No.
She travels all over the place.
All the OLBAS products, they're completely natural. They're all made by nature. See, my grandmother always said, you want to live close to nature. And in terms of food, many of us make the wrong choices by eating foods that were never intended for our bodies. And she always said, look to nature, Sonny, look to nature. Because nature doesn't make ice cream trees and potato chip bushes and donut vines.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what.
More to have an abundance of nutrients your body needs. So it's not just about supplements or OLBAS. It's about the whole lifestyle that I describe in The Joy Factor, and the subtitle you'll learn, the 10 sacred practices for radiant health. So you get that for $16.95, and then you've got to ask for it. Susan said on Dennis's show, if I bought The Joy Factor, I could also get a free copy of her other book, Nature's Medicine Chef. And they'll give it out to you, and then
All right.
send it out today.
All right. Tell you what. It's so nice that your grandmother called you Sonny. I can understand why. You brought a lot of sunshine in our windows this morning. We're going to do it again, Susan Smith-Jones, I hope with your permission.
Anytime, Dennis.
All right. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney with Dr. Susan Smith-Jones saying so long for an impact on your health.
KC reminds you, children are naturally curious, so follow their lead. When you talk to your child, you build vocabulary. Learning starts before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
P3 Live Blue Green Algae is certified organic and kosher. Each of the trillions of cell walls in our bodies are made from essential fatty acids. P3 Live is rich in essential fatty acids, especially the omega-3 form, the hardest to find of all, even in natural foods. Researchers tell us most people are deficient in EFA. Omega-3 has anti-inflammatory properties and helps to maintain healthy cholesterol levels. Omega-3 is beneficial to the cardiovascular, immune, and nervous system. The most familiar sources for EFAs are from fish oil. Did you know that fish do not produce EFAs but acquire them only from eating algae? If the theories regarding mercury toxicity regarding fish doesn't make sense to acquire your essential fatty acids, firsthand from Arkinet's P3 Live algae, P3 Live can be purchased in frozen form with a more convenient capsule. 1-888-7-Vitamin.
At Nature's Way, we know eating the right foods can be a great improvement to your health, especially if you have food allergies. That's why we stock a large selection of foods for people with special diets. Whether it's dairy-free, wheat-free, or gluten-free, Nature's Way has made it easy. Now you can find these special products together in one section of our store. Nature's Way also has color-coded shelf tags that you can find the items you need in the cooler and freezer department. We'll even supply you with a list of products you stock for your special dietary requirements. So if you have food allergies, stop in and ask for a free listing of foods for your diet. You'll be amazed at the variety of choices available to you at Nature's Way, your complete health food store. For more information, call Nature's Way at 724-836-3524. Nature's Way is located in Greensburg on the corner of Highland and Mount Pleasant. Nature's Way, your complete health food store. 724-836-3524.
For 30 years, Cornerstone Television has been spreading the good news of God's love with original programs like Book Explorer and Origin, national programs like Joe Slider and Charles Stanley, and movie specials like The Wager and Luther. Cornerstone Television